Yeah.
What is up, Wicked Turtle Nation? We just wanted to let you guys know that Wicked Turtle Network has decided to join the Raze Rebellion as brand ambassadors for Raze Energy Drink. Raze Energy gives you fresh, and that stands for focus, recovery, energy, stamina, and hydration. With zero sugar, absolutely no crash, electrolytes, and BCAA aminos. I encourage everyone listening or watching right now to raise up and join the Raze Rebellion yourself by going to your local GNC, vitamin shop, or even online at repsports.com. And order yourself some Raze energy drinks or other athletic supplements in bulk. And when checking out, use the order code WICKEDTURTLE for a 15% discount. The website and order code will be in the description of this cast. What's up, divers? How you doing today? Welcome back to the Duke's Dive. Well, I'm uploading a little bit differently this week. This past weekend had gotten a little bit crazy, and I'll get into that on a social media exclusive. Spoiler alert, we had went up to PPW, the Pocono Slam Fest, and the PPW New Beginnings. This was a double event thing, and we had a blast. It was a real good time. The Wicked Turtle crew, we went up there, and boy, it was just like old times. And like I said, I'll get more into that on a social media exclusive. I plan on releasing a Royal Rumble prediction and just a light coverage piece on PPW New Beginnings. I just wanted to, tell those guys how much we appreciated going up there, and we wanted to say thank you, and we wanted to, work together in the future. And like I said, it was a cool time. A lot of cool people up there: Kurt Angle, Doc Gallows, Veda Scott, Deanna Perrazzo, Maven, Gene Snitsky, Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis, a lot of awesome people up there, and it was just a great time. But so it kind of screwed my schedule for a loop a little bit, but I'm back, and I'm going to release this episode of my last week's coverage, and then I will be recording again Sunday for next week's episode, which will mainly feature on the not mainly feature, but it will be featuring in a main showcase piece GCW's Hammerstein Ballroom Show and the Royal Rumble. So excuse me. Watch my social medias. I'm probably release that on Facebook. We got a special guest on that. The coach is coming in. He's going to give his predictions. I'm going to give my prediction. I'm going to give a light coverage to PPW New Beginnings. That's going to be an awesome video. We're going to integrate the coach into the dive. He's going to dive in with us on a weekly basis eventually here, once I get a better recording studio set up. And that I've blathered on quite enough. So moving on, like I said, last week's coverage, AEW Dark from the 10th of 2022. We had Jay Lethal and Sonny Kiss defeating Chris Steeler and Jaden Velo. We had Nyla Rose and Emi Sakura defeat Tina San Antonio and Sky Blue. FTR defeat Pat Brinks and Ray Hawkins. We had Legit Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet defeating Miss Becca and Notorious Mimi. Powerhouse Hobbs defeating Ryan Clancy. QT Marshall defeating Zach Clayton. El Idolo defeating Avery Good. Really good match here. Wish that Avery got in a little more offense, but you know, kind of plays out like it does. But like to see him back on AEW. We had the Acclaimed defeating Kevin Matthews and Joey Ace, and then we had Dante Martin defeating Action Andretti. We see him up there at PPW. Silver and Reynolds in 10 defeat Private Party and The Blade. Then we had AEW Dark on the 11th of the 22nd year. We had Captain Sean Dean defeat Liam Cross, not CM. Anthony Ogogo defeated Baron Black. Red Velvet defeated Shalance Royale. Billy Gunn. He came out with Billy Gunn and the Ass Boys, but of course the Ass Boys left their dad to handle the work. So Billy Gunn then defeated Eddie Kingston and Joey Janela. No, it wasn't. Joey Juno. I don't know what that one was, but he got beat anyways, didn't he? We had Thunder Rosa defeating Casey Fox. We had Powerhouse Hobbs defeating Alexander Moss. Daniel Garcia defeating Fuego del Sol. Jurassic Express defeated QT Marshall and Nick Camarado. Hangman Page 5 and 10 defeat Isaiah Cassidy, Matt Hardy, and Serpentico. Now we move on to the regular weekly stuff here, you know, ups, downs, whatnot, what have you. CM Punk defeats Wardlow. This was an up. Dante Martin defeats Powerhouse Hobbs. This was an up. Serena Deebs defeats Hikaru Shida. This was an up. Pentagon defeats Matt Hardy. This was an up. The Acclaimed defeat Bear Country. This was an up. Sammy G defeats Daniel Garcia. This was an up. My match of the show was Pentagon versus Matt Hardy. AEW Dynamite from the 12th gets an up. Up next is Impact from the 13th. On BTI, Black Taurus defeated Matthew Raywalt. And moving into the main show, Laredo Kid defeats Chris Bay. This was an up. Mike Bailey defeats Jake Something. This was an up. Masha Slamovich defeats Vert Vixen. This was an up. Moose defeats Zicky Dice. This was an up. Kind of a funny one. He carbo loaded with the pizza on the beforehand. I don't know if VSK and the other guy there taking a piece of pizza. Yeah, Brian Myers, duh. Taking a piece of pizza, took away from this. I think if he had the whole pizza, he might have won. I don't know. That's just my conspiracy theory on that one, why Zicky Dice lost. Then we had Jonah defeating Raj Singh. We had Deonna Purrazzo defeating Roxy for the ROH Women's Championship. My match of the show was Deonna Purrazzo defeating Roxy. This episode of Impact was an up. Then we had Rampage from the 14th. Adam Cole defeats Trent Beretta. This was an up. Sean Spears defeats Andrew Everett. This was a down for me. Nyla Rose defeats the Bunny and Penelope Ford. Nyla Rose, the Bunny, and Penelope Ford defeat Chris Statlander, Layla Hirsch, and Red Velvet. This was an up. Jurassic Express defeats Silver and Reynolds. This was an up. All in all, Rampage from... My match of the event was Adam Cole and Trent Beretta. All in all, Rampage from the 14th gets an up. Now, due to special request by my buddy Jerry Diamond, and because I know a couple of people on the event, this promotion, I know a couple of people most of the people that wrestle for this promotion, I'm going to start covering this. Like I said, due to the request from my pal Jerry, and because I know a couple of the guys on here. So, I'm going to cover NWA Power. Now, this was NWA Power from the 15th. Of course, now NWA Power is free on YouTube for free. It uploads on Fight on Thursdays, YouTube on Saturdays. Catch it. NWA Power from the 15th. Kiara Hogan defeats Genocide, Kenzie Page, and Christy Janes in a 4-way. She's the #1 contender for the Women's NWA title. Anthony Mayweather defeats Mims. Dirty Sexy Boys defeat the Rude Dudes. Tyrus defeats Jaden Roller. Scion defeats Judias by disqualification. Matt Cardona and Mike Knox defeat Murdoch and Tim Storm in Strictly Business. Now, I didn't give ups and downs on this one, even though I could have. This wasn't a dark show, so usually I would get my ups and downs, but considering this was my first one, I just go in here with no ups or downs on this one. Next episode, we'll catch you with the ups. We'll catch you with the ups, and we'll catch you with the downs on NWA Power next episode. Next up here is last but not least. We got Pro Wrestling Revolver, Once Upon a Time in Iowa. The match opened up with Speedball Mike Bailey defeating Ace Romero. This was an up. Masha Slamovich then defeated Billy Starks and Tootie Lynn in a triple threat match. This was an up. Eddie Edwards and Chris Sabin defeat Warhorse and Myron Reed. This was an up. Crash Jackson won the Sudden Death Scramble. Crash Jackson won the Sudden Death Scramble. This was an up. Manders and Jake Manning defeat Infrared. This was an up. I never seen Jake Manning in this manner, especially with a barbed wire board. Craziness ensuing in this event for sure. Madman Fulton defeated Ninja Mac. Been keeping my eye on this Ninja Mac dude. I heard he's going over to Japan. Crazy stuff out of this fella. Of course, I couldn't handle Madman Fulton. Can't fault him for that. Who can? That was a crazy good match. Excuse me. Ace Austin defeated Blake Christian, Alex Zane, and Andrew Everett. This was an up. Then Brian Cage defeated Jonah. This was an up. Then in the main event, in a light tube scaffolding match, a match that took me back to the good old days of CZW Tournament of Death, Alex Colon defeated Jake Christ. This was a really good one. Jake Christ, a hardcore legend at this point. You know, you watched him on some of that stuff with Impact with OVE and not OVE, but yeah, just a lot of the stuff he did on Impact. Just look up the name Jake Christ, man, from what he's done in many different promotions out there. If you know this type of wrestling, you definitely know the work Jake Christ has been putting into, like, not only deathmatch but hardcore. You know who Jake Christ is, but to see him in there with one of the best in the game, Alex Colon, that was a cool match. Who played this pretty neat story too. A lot of the critics for deathmatch wrestling say that they can't pull off a story in there, but I digress on that. I oppose that. I say that is wrong, and a lot of good deathmatch wrestling has a lot of good story to it if you look into it. I go back and I like to suggest the story that Ricky Shane Page and Nick Gage told about a year or so back now, and some of the promo work out of that was some of the best stuff I've seen in pro wrestling at all, ever. And I think that's a story that anybody that is involved in wrestling could enjoy, even if they don't like, necessarily deathmatch. But that was a cool show. Once Upon a Time in Iowa gets an A from me. Now, this week's Man of the Week is Alex Colon. The Woman of the Week this week is Deonna Purrazzo. My Show of the Week this week was Pro Wrestling Revolver, Once Upon a Time in Iowa. And my Tag Team of the Week this week was The Acclaimed. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to The Duke's Dive. I appreciate you listening. Tell your friends about us at The Wicked Turtle. Subscribe, like, follow the stuff we do. Click the bell, get notified. Make sure you follow, because that way you get your notifications in your inbox. You get updated every time we upload. Sometimes just liking the page or stuff like that isn't enough, to put it in your feed, as it were. Not like it's not enough for us as, just liking the page simply isn't enough, but to actually see it in your feed and get notified when we do upload, we do suggest, subscribing or following or clicking the bell, or make sure you do have us in your feed set to get notified when we do upload, so that way you are there and you have the best chance to watch us when we do upload, and stay up to date with us and stay up to date with the Duke's Dive. But I digress on that. I enjoy your company. I appreciate you listening, watching this week. This is an audio exclusive. Like I said, I appreciate your support. Definitely thank you. Thank you for your support. I do have 2 shout outs this week. One of my shout outs is on Facebook. Follow From the Left Side. And you can also find her on Twitter at that same handle, From the Left Side. If you look at the profile icon, it will be a picture of the wrestling steps. The infamous ring steps. So, you are in the correct space if you are looking up on Facebook or Twitter From the Left Side, and you are looking at the profile icon that contains the ring icon, the profile icon that contains the ring steps. You are in the right spot. Miss Millie Camacho, I commend you. Got a nice shirt from you. I do appreciate that. It was pretty awesome. John Moxley just on his debut tonight. We'll get into that next week, of course, with my coverage of the week. And like I said, follow From the Left Side. Great stuff on there. Great up-to-date stuff. Great fan. Just like me. Not like, I'm a great fan too. I'm just saying, she's a fan like I am, and we like to support each other in the fan community from wrestling communities, one another. So like I said, check her out, and also check out the Stardom Cast. You can find those guys on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or anywhere that audio is, and they also have a they have a Facebook page, and they have a YouTube. I'll put these things in the description below for the description of whatever form of social media you see this on, and you can follow the Stardom Cast, and they do have a YouTube page as well. So like I said, my two shoutouts this week are From the Left Side and the Stardom Cast. If you want to watch, get up to date with some of the best New Japan women's wrestling, definitely follow the Stardom Cast. And From the Left Side is just wrestling in general, great stuff, keep up to date news stuff with her, and two great people to support in this wrestling business. You know, the Stardom Cast does have one half of Blue and Gold, and friend of the Wicked Turtle Nation, and and friend of Duke's Dive friend Matt Turner over there on the Stardom Cast. They used to do Andy Hutter and Andy. They used to cover NJPW, the Call It and Empower Ring podcast. This is very similar to stuff like that. You know, Matt Turner's very intricate with the New Japan stuff, the Japan wrestling and stuff like that. Very, very nice to sit there and listen to him. And one of the very few podcasts right now that I'm actually listening to professional wrestling wise. So, like I said, check that stuff out. Give them a follow. Stay notified on them. Keep up to date when they upload. And I'll check in with you at a later date here. And thank you for watching. Check me out next week. Goodbye. This has been the Duke. You just dove in.